and welcome to this video brought to you by That Maths channel. This is one video in a series of 5 looking at questions and topics that you are very likely to be asked in the new Maths GCSE. This is a collection of questions that you will probably be asked in your exams. The word to emphasize here is probably. As of course, there is no way to completely predict what the examiner will do, but what we can do is we can look back through each series of the new 9-to-1 Maths GCSE exam papers, including the specimen papers, and we can find those topics that are repeatedly included. On top of this, you can find a pattern of very similar questions which are repeated in nearly every series of exams. Here are some of those questions. A topic that you'll most definitely be asked about will be prime factor decomposition. Usually, the questions will be presented in such a way as is displayed on the screen now. You'll be asked to present a number as a product of its prime factors. Could you pause the video at this point and have a go at this question? When you unpause the video, I'll go through how you should have answered this question. Okay, welcome back. First thing to notice is the question is worth 3 marks. So we're expecting 3 bits of information. 3 bits of maths that are going to allow us to receive full marks. I'm going to write 720 as a product of its prime factors. As soon as we see that sentence, you should be thinking about a prime factor tree. Let's have a look at my answer. My complete answer looks like this. You're going to start with the number that's in the question, and you're going to split it into 2 factors. One of those factors is circled because it is a prime number. Then you move on to this number and you're going to split 360 into 2 factors, and you're going to circle the number that is a prime number. And you're going to continue that process until you get to the end where both factors are prime numbers. And then all of the numbers you have circled go together to be the product of prime factors for 720. So you could present your answer like this or like this. Some questions will ask for your answer to include index notation, so then this answer will be required, but for this question in particular, it does not ask for that. Your prime factor tree may look slightly different. You may have split it into different factors to me, and the route you got to the end of your factor tree may be slightly different, but no matter what route you took, this should be your final solution. Very well done if you were able to answer that question correctly. Another topic that is very likely to be assessed is converting recurring decimals into fractions. Nearly every past paper in the new series of the 9-to-1 GCSE exam has included a question very much like this. Could you pause the video at this point and have a go at this 2-mark question? Welcome back to the video. I'll just go ahead and show you my solution. My worked solution looks like this. I've labeled the number in the question as x, so therefore 10x would be this number multiplied by 10. So essentially I'm moving the decimal point from here to here. What I'm aiming for is to get the tail of these decimals that are on top of each other to be the same. And you can see at this point they are not the same, which is why I have a think about 100x and then also 1000x. When I look at 1000x, I'm left with 254.545454. So now the tail of this decimal and the tail of this decimal, which both go on for infinity, remember, are now the same. They are now equal. So if I go ahead and do a subtract, the tail of both decimals will be removed from the calculation, because essentially I'm subtracting all of these values from these values, leaving me with nothing. If I take away the other parts of the calculation, I'm left with 990x equaling 252. Then I divide both sides by 990, which gives me this fraction here. But the question is asking me to show that this is my answer. So in order to present my answer as 14 over 55, I've also just divided the numerator and the denominator by 18 to give this answer in its simplest form, which happens to be 14 over 55. Very well done if you were able to answer that question correctly. The final question in this video includes the topic of simultaneous equations. You will definitely be asked to solve some simultaneous equations in your maths GCSE exam. Whether it is a slightly easier question involving two linear simultaneous equations, or a slightly trickier question which could involve some quadratic equations such as x squared, y squared, and so on, you won't know until the day you sit your exam. But what we can do is practice simultaneous equations and practice the most complex simultaneous equations so that no matter what we get questioned on in our exam, we are very well prepared. This is a difficult question and it's worth 5 marks. Could you pause the video at this point and have a go at solving the simultaneous equations? Okay, welcome back to the video. Let's have a look at my full written solution, my full algebraic working, which is what the question asked for. My working out looks like this. So I've started at this point, I've substituted 2x plus 1 as y, because we're told in the question that y is the same as 2x plus 1. So I've substituted that into the first equation up here. 2x plus 1 all squared means I have to expand these double brackets to receive this, which I've then placed where the 2x plus 1 squared was. Then I'm just going to expand that bracket by multiplying each term by 3. And then I've went ahead and simplified and made my equation equal to 0. So at this point, I'm left with a quadratic equation equal to 0. All 3 terms are even, so I've been able to divide by 2 to leave me with this quadratic equation. At this point, you could have factorized and solved, but I've went ahead and put those values into the quadratic formula, which gives me my 2 solutions for x, x being 1/7 or x being -1. So now I have my 2 x possibilities, but I need to find the possibilities of y. So I need to take the equation y equals 2x plus 1. I've chosen that one because it's the easiest of the 2 equations. And first of all, I substitute x as being 1/7 into that equation to give me a value of y equaling 9/7. And then separately, I substitute -1 into that equation to give me a value of y also being -1. So then I can state the solutions to my simultaneous equation. I have 2 sets of solutions. When x is 1/7, y is 9/7, and when x is -1, y is -1. Full working out needed as the question requires it. Very well done if you were able to answer that question correctly, showing your full working out and your full notation in order to receive all 5 marks. Thank you for watching, and remember, practicing past paper questions is easily the best way to be successful in GCSE Maths.